Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, December 22nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about this tool and how it can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get started, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering next week. So if you like what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, then there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click on to get signed up. So if you're liking what you see, then definitely get signed up for the free class. A couple of quick clarification points. First off, I'll be doing the 30-minute time frame, which means for you beginners out there that each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. And next, the market is still open for a little bit of time, so you're not crazy. That candle is still moving and will be moving, but I like to do these when the markets are still open for a little bit, because sometimes we can capture some great action on video. But overall, the levels that I'll be talking about will still be relevant going into Wednesday. So first one here, BFRI, and the uptrend continues. I've been tracking this one for quite a while. In fact, put that green trend line in play a while ago. But today's movement, I mean, really just exploded with a big gap up. And yeah, things have pulled back in the afternoon, but overall has set up some very interesting technical levels here headed into Wednesday. So the first key level that I think a lot of people will be watching as a breakout point right up there at that $13 mark. And when a lot of people are watching the same level, as you've heard me say before in past top 10 videos, a lot of people watching the same level, wondering the same thing. Self-fulfilling prophecy level, call it whatever you want. It's very rational to think that if the price were to come up to that area and break through it, it could get some good additional upside pressure. So not guaranteed to happen, but if the price does break 13, like I said, it's a plausible thought process to think that that could create and generate that much more upside momentum. As far as supports are concerned and potential pullback areas, key level to watch if the price does pull back some more, going to be right down there around that $10 mark. And then, yes, you have the 50-period moving average right there, that purple line. But all in all, I think that the main dynamic here that most people are going to be interested in is, can the price recover, get up to 13, and can the price break above 13? Because as this one has demonstrated once again today, when it starts moving, it can move very quickly. Next one, AMC, and this will mean more to those of you that watch the past ones, but I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but I am patting the tool of technical analysis on the back, because for those of you that did watch the previous videos, you've heard me talk about that area of resistance time and time again, and you also saw me draw that level of resistance in the previous video. And check it out today. This morning, price came up here, broke that level of resistance, fantastic. So you got the breakout, made a great move up, and look at that. Right where the price got rejected from, right at that level there, back down it went. So are charts perfect? No, they're not perfect. But what I'm trying to suggest is they're a fantastic tool that I would argue all traders should be using in one, fashion or another. And this is just a real-time example of that. Now, if you don't believe me, that if you think I just put that red line up there beforehand, I understand if you've never seen my videos before. But the good news is all you got to do is go back in the video archive, watch the video from yesterday, and you'll see that talked about that red line right there, and it played out perfectly. So overall, though, got the breakout, and this level, in my opinion, has served its purpose, because now the next key level is just, well, that area up there. So continue to watch that general area up around, let's call it 3250 as that main area of resistance. And then from the support side of things, nothing really relevant right now. I mean, price is still well above that trend line there. So like I said, no really major updates from the support side of things. But yeah, the price continues to build those higher bases, and that's what matters most. Next one, SNDL, and along the same lines of AMC, not patting myself on the back, but I am patting charts on the back. Again, yet a level that I drew previously, that area of resistance, and wouldn't you know it, 63 cents is right where the price did find trouble. Now that's, sure, it's great as a, hey, look, this is the great thing about charts. They're a great tool, but it's also very beneficial because you now know that there's just that many more people watching that level and wondering about that level. So while that doesn't guarantee anything, again, doesn't make it valid, doesn't make it rational to think that if the price can turn around, get back up to 63 and then break above it, that break could create good upside buying pressure. That's absolutely a plausible thought process to have. So 63 serves a couple, like I said, great purposes just to illustrate the power of charts, but it's also going to be a level that just that many more people are watching. And then also, like AMC, from the support side of things, nothing new to really talk about. I mean, this thing just keeps on chipping away and building in those higher bases. So the uptrend continues, and it's just all about continuing to break through levels of resistance. But yeah, 63 cents, certainly public enemy number one headed into Wednesday. Next one, RELI. And really the only reason for this one is it's got a well-defined potential turnaround point right here at the $6 mark. You can see several times today, after the big move up and then, yes, this big move down, it has at least gone sideways, which suggests, doesn't guarantee, but it suggests that, okay, maybe this thing is finally leveled out. Maybe the selling is finally done. However, you can see just multiple times the price has gotten up here, generally speaking, around that $6 mark and has not been able to hold above it. So like I said, a very well-defined level. So going back to the whole idea of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And also you just combine that with the fact of it did show the ability today to move quickly. And, so that their potential is there. Now it's really just a question of, are people going to stay interested enough? Is the volume going to come back in that's able to push it up through that level? And if it does, then yeah, that could create that much more volume. But that's really the big question right now is, can it generate momentum, can it generate enough volume to create that momentum that's going to, very clearly be, required to break up through that $6 mark? But if it can, well, then you could have a very nice breakout on your hands. But as far as, confirmation points, what I personally just randomly buy right now in hopes that it buys gets up to $6, to me, that's a little bit of a gamble because I don't know, maybe this thing just breaks to the downside. But if it starts to work its way up to $6, then while it doesn't guarantee anything, it does make it more sense of, okay, yeah, it's looking like this thing is recovering and officially getting ready to break 6. So keep an eye on that level. Next one here, JAGX, very, very ugly afternoon. I mean, what a huge move up, and then it spent essentially the afternoon just dropping. But there can be opportunity in ugly, not guarantees, but opportunity, logical opportunity, and that in this situation is down here around the $1.22-ish mark, which is basically these two moving averages, the pink line being a very famous 200 period moving average, and then that purple line, the 50 period moving average. You can see they're basically valued at the same thing. So I'm calling it $1.22 just to kind of split the difference here a little bit. But pointer being is, if this ugliness continues and it pulls back and back and back, is it guaranteed to happen? No. Is it rational that the price could come down here, find some support of these moving averages, and then not necessarily reverse all the way back up to where it was, but get a quality bounce relative to the amount that was being risked? Yeah, that's a plausible thought process to have. Now, these sorts of plays, well, I mean, all trading depends on it, but especially these ones, you better have risk control protocols in your strategy. You better be able to honor stop losses, because if you can't, well, then you could turn into a bag holder real quick. But if you can, then you're putting yourself in a situation where there's going to be very minimal risk compared to some good upside reward if you get any sort of bounce. So if you like to play these kind of, wow, that's looking really ugly type situations, well, then this one should be on your watch list. Next one here, TTNP, and I like this just because there's not, I mean, it definitely got more volume than normal, but it's not like an epic amount where, everybody and their brother in the market is already watching it. So there is that, idea of, okay, it could still draw more attention in the next coming days. So that's always an interesting attribute to have. And what I like about it is just the ability to draw that trend line right there, which is not complicated at all, which is good because that all sorts of people have drawn that trend line. And if a bunch of people are watching the same trend line, and if the price can get up there and break up through it, that could definitely create a good upwards momentum and then create just that many more people to locate it and then want to get involved with it. So in my mind, right up there around, let's call it $1.37-ish key breakout level if it can push up through that trend line. And then as far as pullback areas are concerned, if that's more of your idea of things, and right there around $1.23 is an interesting level. So keep an eye on this, and really in all actuality, I'll draw it up real quick from a pattern perspective. You have the level of resistance there. You have the support right there. You have the big momentum move right there. Let's put the golf hole down there to make it more visual. And then you have a bull pennant pattern here that is formed. So if you like to play these sorts of patterns in this price range, I would definitely consider this one on the watch list. Next one here, RAD. What a monster move on this. And really, to me, this is a pullback play because the breakout has essentially happened. And now the last 30 minutes here, not looking too confidence inspiring from a breakout standpoint. So suggesting here that a pullback may be in store. And from a pullback standpoint, the level that I like quite a bit, down there right around $14.25. Because if the price came down to $14.25, sure, that would be a pretty big drop from where it's at now. But from the grand scheme of things, that would still be giving you a low right here. You'd have a low there. You'd have that low down there. And if you envision those as stair steps, you still have stair steps progress in the upwards direction. Now, I suppose if you wanted to, you could say, well, no, I'm a breakout player and I want to buy that breakout right there. And I'm not going to say that's nonsensical because I see your logic there. But just me personally, it seems as though at this point in time, especially with the way the final 30 minutes has gone, I would look for some sort of pullback moving forward. Next one here, PTPI, and I like this one quite a bit because there's a nice turnaround point. First off, let's just build some context. Overall, the trend is still very much so in the bull's favor. I'll just draw a bootleg trend line like that. And in fact, if I want to draw a trend line up here, you could argue that there's a nice overall upwards channel here. And yes, within that channel, clearly the price has pulled back here and a well-defined what I would, call the turnaround point. that I think a lot of people will be watching, rightfully so. Right up here, give or take around $4.40. So like, what was that? I can't remember which one. I think RELI had that level where it started to stabilize, had a well-defined level where the price could potentially turn around within the overall uptrend of things. And to me, 440, very interesting level. If the price can push up through there, next key level to watch would be up there around the $5 mark. And then from a support side of things, it's really up to you however you want to do it. You could draw a trend line if you wanted to, something like that. Or you could just sit there and use the 50-period moving average, which is essentially a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. But from a support side of things and pullback location area, I think those couple of ways make the most sense. But yeah, 440, certainly a very interesting level. Next one, CCL, just a very powerful move 2 days in a row. I mean, on Monday had the very nice bullish pattern right here, basically a bull flag, got the breakout here, and now essentially a case of deja vu once again with the same exact pattern. But it's very clear that this has established quite a bit of momentum. And if you like to play these sorts of setups, very well documented here. So we have the level of resistance right there. In this situation, it's probably more of a bull pennant, not a bull flag. But don't get hung up on, well, the name of the pattern. What's the name of the pattern? Is it this or that? Just understand the psychology behind it. But in fact, let's just make this, again, all one color. So we have the resistance, we have the support, we have the momentum move right here. And like you had right there, another bullish pattern. So does that mean guaranteed it's going to continue on up? Of course not. Hopefully I've repeated myself enough in that regard. But does it make logical sense to be thinking that, okay, let's see if this bullish momentum continues. Let's see if the price can once again get another break up through that area. Well, then yeah, that definitely makes sense. So if you like to play these sorts of patterns and uptrends that are gaining momentum, especially with the exterior drama, the cruise lines present a very interesting situation, and CCL right now and the pattern itself is showing exactly that. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and a very interesting dynamic. I mean, a little bit more to those of you that watched the previous video, but talked about that resistance level right there. And I mean, wouldn't you know it, this morning, that's right where the price found some resistance and actually got rejected in a very nasty way all the way down. But to give credit where credit's due, found support, headed back up there, and is now not only broken above that resistance, but it's actually broken above the purple line there too as resistance. So more of the story here, a very, very solid day here for Tesla. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines there as they serve their purpose for now. But now a level that I'm very curious about from a support standpoint is going to be, can the price stay up above this breakout zone, which I'm going to define as 920. Let's just make it 920. And we're talking about a $900 stock here. Can the price stay above 920? Because the important thing about 920 is if the price were to go down there and then break down below it, well, now all of a sudden, what do you have? Well, you have the price right back inside of this range where it was. And, price movements with true power are not going to go back to where they were, right? They're going to make some sort of progress. And in this situation, quote unquote, progress is staying at least up above 920. Because like I said, you don't want the price going right back to that range where it was. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, curious about that trend line right there. So let's call that right up around the 945-ish area. But overall, you got to give credit where credit's due. Crazy to think that at one point the price was all the way down here. Now it's all the way up there. Very, very impressive turnaround for Tesla. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used, how it should be used to build consistency as a trader, and why it's just so powerful, then I want you to get signed up for the class. Like I said, it'll be next week, Thursday, December 30th. At 7 p.m. Eastern time, so definitely get signed up for it. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you like this format, if you would like for me to continue to put in the time and effort to make these videos, then I'm happy to do so. But just let me know, and you can do that by hitting the like button and leaving a simple comment. Say hi, tell me a ticker symbol that you're watching for tomorrow. Give me an emoji, but hitting the like button and leaving a basic comment goes a long way in communicating to me that you enjoy the videos, and as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to make them. So again, if you want to learn more about the tool of technical analysis and how it can be used to build consistency, definitely get signed up for the class. Everybody take care. Have a good one.